Hello and welcome everyone. Today's adventure, I am so excited to show you guys. It'll be at the end of this video, but between now and then, I'm going to show you guys a couple of different towns. We're just going to do a drive-through, show you guys what it looks like here, give you a feel of Washington State, and I hope you guys are doing well and you enjoy this video. Right now we're headed into the town of Ferndale. It's north of Bellingham. We're headed towards the border today. And I just wanted to show you what it looks like headed towards that way. It gets real, farm area and things like that. And there's a couple of neat things. So I just wanted to show you and hope you guys are having a wonderful day. So as we go over this bridge, we're heading into the town of Ferndale. The first part is going to be the newer town of Ferndale, and then we're going to go into Old Town. There's some cool stuff to see. As you can see on the right, there's going to be some signs showing that we are in Ferndale, a little sign from the Ferndale High School, and things like that. Once we pass under the train bridge, everything's going to change. It's going to look a lot different from what it does right now. And here we are. We're headed towards the train bridge. You can see there's modern conveniences, O'Reilly's, Walgreens, McDonald's, and things we have passed by. It's such a pretty day, and I wish you guys were here with us, but since you can't, that's why we're doing these videos. And here we go, guys. We're going into Old Town Ferndale. As we're coming up on this bridge, I'm going to show you the train bridge. There's always Metallica painting on this bridge. They changed from different albums, different album covers, if you will. And I slowed it down so you can see it. Right now, boop, it's that album, Metallica. There we go. And now we're getting back to the old town of Ferndale. As you can see, it looks really western, old west kind of deal. There's a lot of really good restaurants and cafes and a couple of shops here and there in this area to go check out. You can definitely make a day of it. I like all the flowers, all the planters hanging. It's so pretty. And we do have some modern things like Subway. There's a 7-Eleven coming up. Gas stations. But overall, the buildings are more pioneer looking. They do have a pioneer village here, and they do events like the Scottish Highland Games and things like that. You can watch people churn butter. Now up here on the left, I feel like it's Pippi Longstocking's house. Like she should be up there somewhere swinging around the pole, waving to everybody, inviting everybody to come hang out. Now we're going to turn around just up here because if we keep going, we would go into farmland. So I'm turning around to show you guys the mountains and the other direction. Coming back out of Ferndale and Pippi Longstocking's house again. Bye-bye, Pippi. And we're back on the main street of Ferndale, heading on out. Just giving you another perspective. You can see the mountains in the background, maybe, possibly. Videos never seem to do it justice. Really, it really doesn't. Some murals. All sorts of things. Up here on the right is a really popular hangout for people. I always notice there's people there at all times having a good time. Never anything bad, it seems. Just people hanging out and, at the watering hole kind of deal. And there's Old Glory right there. And now we're heading out of Ferndale and we're going to head towards Lynden, Washington. Still going north towards the border. And I just wanted to show this because I thought that was just such a neat old mural. It's been there for I don't know how long, really. And here we are. We're headed towards the main road called Guide Meridian. It goes through Bellingham and it goes all the way to the border. And I wanted to show you this view. A lot of times when you're driving around, especially on the western part of Washington, you can see the mountain ranges, many different mountain ranges, many different mountains and things. That is Mount Baker. And yeah, I just want to show you the farms. Just to give you a feel of the area. See, more farm area. There are some residential areas off of this road, scattered about. And a golf course to the right. But we are headed towards that main road, which also holds the mall, a lot of shopping centers, Best Buy, hotels, and things. But we're going to actually, instead of turning right to that, we're going to take a left. And here we are. The mall is right behind us. Walmart, Best Buy, all that stuff behind us. But we're going north. And we're headed towards a really neat town called Lynden. And as you can see, there's mountains in the background. And that is informing us about the border. Just a really nice, pleasant drive. Yeah, there they are. Kinda. You can kinda see them. I spotted this big Pepsi can at the recycling center. Thought I'd share that with you. And the pretty fields, the farm fields with the mountains in the background and the sprinklers going off. Show you the other side. Because this is really like a main road, so it's just kind of fascinating that you have this. And we're getting closer to Lynden. Yeah. Just giving you, the sights. I had to get a video of this bridge because I just think these bridges are really, really cool. And one day I will show you a very, very long architectural engineering miracle or miraculous thing later down the road that goes from Oregon to Washington, the Myers Bridge. Now we're headed into Lynden. We're on their main street, which is Front Street. Some years back, this was voted the most beautiful main street in America. And I'd have to say, I can see why. I really can. It is so beautiful with all the rows of trees, nicely kept yards, pretty little houses. It is really nice. But I'll tell you, this town, it is a Dutch town, and you're about to see exactly what that looks like. It is pretty cool. They have a little town area, like an old town area, just like Ferndale. You've got, cafes, the Lynden Dutch Bakery. There is a flag store that carries every flag imaginable that you can think of. All that great stuff. There's also a skating rink here. And as you see these people passing, there's also a lot of people selling berries and fruits because of all the farms that were around. They pick them and they can sell them to you, or you can go straight to the farm and pick the stuff yourself for a discount. And there's one of the most cool things there, a Dutch windmill. There's a cafe in there. And I just wanted to show you what these buildings look like in this little downtown area. Give you a little idea of what you would be doing if you came here. And we're going to head all the way down to the end of the street like we did with Ferndale. And then we're going to turn around and show you the other perspective, coming back, going out of town. And then I'm going to show you a couple things that I noticed around town that you guys might like. And those trees up front look like a huge heart, don't they? Oh, it's so nice and green and full of love. All right, we have hit the end. Not of Lynden, but of the main street. Like I said, we're just going to drive through these towns, but when we get to the end, we will get out and show you some stuff. All right, so we're headed out, going back down Main Street or Front Street. And as you saw, the flag shop there on the left that we just passed, we're going to be passing the Lynden Dutch Bakery, which if you're ever in the area, please go check it out. There's the public restrooms. They even have a windmill. And look at those pretty flowers. Isn't that neat? I love these buildings and everything. It's just so nice. Do, 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 do. Riding down the railroad. Yeah, every building just looks so Dutch and neat. Bye-bye, lady. Hope she has a good day. And there's that windmill again with the cafe, and you got some treats in there, some shops. All right, and then I'm going to show you guys a couple things before we leave Lynden and head more north to the city of Blaine, Washington. Within the neighborhood of Lynden, I had spotted this and I thought it was pretty cool. So I'm going to slow it down a little bit so you can see all these toys. All these toys all over. I just thought that was really, really nice. Pretty cool. And then I want to show you the more modern side. Just like Ferndale had a more modern conveniences, Lynden does too. As you see, there's a T-Mobile, Ace Hardware and things like that. More berries to be sold. And some windmills. And of course the buildings look, different. They look Dutch. Little Caesars. And now we're headed towards Blaine, Washington. We're surrounded by a couple of residences, but also mostly farm area. This is a service road for truckers and farmers. So you definitely want to be careful when you're driving out this way. Make sure you give people enough time to turn onto the road, and just know that there's probably going to be some tractors in front of you. And just give them, some time. They'll pull off eventually because they're going to their next field. So. Such a pleasant drive. Look at that. All those different farms and all the stuff that they're selling. And you can just go up to their farm and check out the operation, get you some fresh fruit and produce. It's really nice. Give you a little view of the area, what it looks like. Some more farm areas like before. All right, now we're getting closer to the town of Blaine. We're going to follow this train all the way down, and I'm going to show you guys something really, really awesome. I'm so excited. All right, here we are. We're officially pulling into Blaine. Now, up ahead, past this vehicle in front of us, you'll see all these little buildings and some towers and things. That's Canada. You can actually see Vancouver where those big tall buildings are. It's pretty cool. We're so close. Canada is our sister country, and I'm going to take you to something pretty special. It's an area where you can be in two countries at the same time. And I'm going to show you exactly what's up with that and how you can do that. And you don't need a passport, and you don't have to go through customs. So here's the little town area that you will go through when you're headed towards the Peace Arch Park. Again, there's many restaurants and shopping. There's also a waterfront park and trails you can walk. You'll see a lot of Canadian and American flags in this area. There's also some duty-free shops where they are tax-free, and you can get in on that before you cross the border. And they're usually around the border on both sides, so you always have a chance to get some good deals on some things, depending on the store that you go to. Yeah, there's a duty-free shop right there. All right, Peace Arch Park. I'm going to show you that here in just a minute. Welcome, everyone. And this is the park right before you get to the border. I just wanted to show you how big and wide and people enjoying their picnics. Give you a feel of what it looks like right up against the American border, right before you go to Canada. You see that red thing back there, and you see those houses? That's actually in Canada. That's actually Canada right there, and I'm standing on American soil right now. And we're going to go right up to that border, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is the border. You can come up here. There's many different spots like this, but I'm showing you this one. That ditch right there is the actual international line. That's what separates Canada from America. Right there. Canada House and Street. There's the line. There's the international line, the ditch that parts us from each other. And we're going to walk through this park. I'm going to show you some things in this park that are kind of neat. And then we're going to go to something that's even more fascinating than what we're looking at right now. Got a fountain. A whole bunch of shady trees keep cool in the hot summer. And there's the American kitchen. We've got ketchup and mustard, the Twilight Zone, Sexy Rexy, the Oh My. We got some Ingrid Bergman too, Sparkle and Shine. But here's Doris Day. Doris Day, people. Isn't that beautiful? Her roses. And there's the American kitchen. And here's another side of the American kitchen. Those things are huge. I just had to show you guys how big that plant is. This little gazebo. And now, here we are. The official placards showing about the Peace Arch Monument. And in the background, you see the water. You see cars waiting to come into America. Paul Robson, he sang when it was officially open. And may these gates never be closed. Here we go, guys. We're walking down to the park and the monument. Give you a little view of what we're looking at here. So there's people coming into America. There's a car, and another car coming to go to Canada. There's more of the park. That's actually part America and part Canada that you're looking at right now all at the same time. We're walking across. And we are crossing the border, guys. We are walking to go across the border. If you notice, the American flag is higher than the Canadian flag. We're on the American side. There's some people going to Canada, and there's where we just came from, where I showed you the overview of the park and people waiting. There is the customs right there. They're doing a really good job considering the busyness. And there's the American flag. All right, here we go, guys. We're going through the border. No passport, nothing. But believe me, they do watch you. We were approached by a couple of Border Patrol asking questions. They were very friendly, but they were fully aware of who we were, what we looked like, where we came from, and everything. So just know they are watching you, even though it looks like they're not, okay? Just be forewarned, do not do anything against the law in this area. Please don't. This is a commemorative plaque for the man who had built this monument. There's the gates. Open 100 years. And I hope it's open for hundreds and hundreds of years more. I just want to show you on the other side, another border line. I'm going to try to get close, maybe slow it down, sharpen it up a bit. All right, and we are officially on the Canadian side. There's the side of Canada, there's their park, there's their flag, and that's where you enter Canada if you're in a vehicle. So we're kind of in a gray area of international border. This whole area is kind of interesting because during the pandemic, a lot of people, because the borders were closed, a lot of people would come here to visit with their families. It's really nice. And see, now we're on the Canadian side, so the Canadian flag is taller than the American flag. Just give you a view of where we're at. The water, there's Washington in the background there. Here's a plaque commemorating the 100-year anniversary of the monument being built. Oh, she's beautiful. And here I am. I'm in Canada. See? Canada. There's the official placard. And we're back in the United States. This was such a fun video to make, guys, and I hope you really enjoyed it. And I will be showing more videos in the future, hopefully more frequently than I have been. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one, everyone.